Hey-o, welcome to another episode of the Best Friends Discuss podcast. I'm your host, Mike, with my co-host,
Brad.
And we are here today because I had the idea that I like superheroes. You like superheroes, even though you picked the wrong ones. That we will... I had the idea of basically making our own universe, our own superhero universe, coming up with our own superheroes and our own stories and our own villains and teams and stuff like that, and naming these people, and that was pretty much it. And so I've been thinking of a lot of superheroes, and I've written them down. Shut up, phone. And I've been writing them down, and so I want to make the Best Friends Discuss universe.
The BFDU.
Yes, BFDU. Big fucking deal. Deal you. Deal until. Anyway, we'll work on it. But I figured for just this first one, we'll go through the superheroes I've thought of in my head. We'll come up with names that don't have names. We'll discuss the names. We'll change powers, and we'll make a team out of it. That's the basis of what I want. Also, you can see my knee.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I've told you like 3 of these superheroes I've come up with. I have like 7 options. I've come up with quite a bit. So like I said, I don't know if you want to mix them together. What's nice is we have creative control of this, so we can do whatever the fuck we want with it. So the first superhero, I'm going to do it in 2 parts because I don't know if I'm going to do 2 superheroes at once, pretty much, because I don't know if we should combine them together into one superhero or make their backstories together. But it's the one I told you in Vegas, which is it's this guy who has a magical trench coat that it's kind of like Doctor Strange's cape, where he can throw the trench coat and then teleport to the trench coat and start fighting people. And the trench coat has a mind of its own, and the trench coat can come off and can fight alongside of him. Like a ghost is inside the trench coat, but not a friendly ghost. So that's the basis of it. And I've called him Mr. D, I believe, is one of the names, or Mystery, or Trench Coat.
Trench coat.
Yep, or Trench. Trench isn't bad, but that's basically it, is that he can teleport, he's a skilled fighter, and he's quick, he's speedy, he's very agile. So what do you think?
Good. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
So, all right. He's no Flash, but he'll do. The next superhero, I don't know if we want to combine with the first one with Mr. D or have his backstory linked up. I have a few ideas, but basically his power was, let me find it. He has the ability to pull weapons out of thin air. Any kind of gun, lethal or non-lethal, like a gun that shoots rubber bullets, or melee weapons like swords or axes. The hero can't pull out a tank out of thin air, but can pull out ammo for said tank if wanted to. So he pretty much is just like, boom, Glock, and he just kind of like makes a Glock appear, like he just did street magic with a car, like boom, Glock.
Okay, but why would he be able to pull out a shell for a tank if he can't make said tank?
It's too big for him to just be like,
Then it doesn't make sense for him to do a tank shell either.
Well, what happens if on one of the missions I'm just saying,
then
like
he just pulls out an RPG?
I'm just saying he's able to make ammunition that is, but he can't like make a rocket, but he can pull out a tank shell that is that big.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to give a baseline.
I would cut that part out.
Okay, fine. No tank ammunition.
So it's basically something he can carry.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess. Because I'm just like, well, you could carry a tank shell, but I get what you're saying. It's just I was just thinking more of like he could pull ammunition.
Pulls out a tank shell and a hammer.
Yeah, tink. But like he could pull out like a mortar, like the actual mortar shell and the tube that you could put it in. He can't just make a jet manifest though, but he can, be like, hey, here's an AR or here's a Thompson machine gun or here's a LMG. He can make heavy duty weapons, just not stuff big as a tank. He can't like make a motorcycle appear. It's just weapons, or he's like, here's an axe. So,
how does he make it appear?
In my head, he just kind of is just like, he just whips his hands around and it's just like, when people with street magic is like, I'll make your card disappear, and they just do like, they just move their hand up and down and it's gone. Like that's just him, and he just like pulls it out of thin air.
It seems very weird to make like an AK-47 that way.
Yeah, where he's just like, Wah! Like he just does it quick. Like it's almost like it's mounted on, like he sees it mounted on a wall and he just grabs it, and he like, how about this? There's mini portals that he can open up, but only he can see them. And so it just looks like he's pulling stuff out of thin air. That's what I have for you, man. I don't know what more you want. I also don't have a name for this guy. But I thought overall you would like this guy overall because he could just be like, boom, Glock. Boom, M9. Mac 10.
Without the fancy freaking hand gestures, please. I don't think he needs to go like that.
Yeah, so you just want him to go, gun. Is that what you want? You just want him to just go, AK. Like, look how boring this is. Oh, man, I really need an AK.
That's why I was wondering how he creates it. Because, like, let's say you had a sword, right?
Uh-huh.
And you've seen it before, like, in different shows or something, where they basically kind of, like, use their own energy. And they, like, hold, like, a hilt, and they use, like, their hand.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, extend it out. And that, like, the basis of their energy to, like, create a sword.
Gotcha.
That's what I'm wondering. Is it like that? Or if he's just basically creating it out of thin air, then why does he need to have a fancy hand gesture? Because if you're in the middle of a fight, like think of like my thought is like a Infinity War situation where you've got like Rocket and Bucky and they're just like fighting, right? And he runs out of ammo. I don't think in the middle of a battlefield it's very practical for him to be like, ha, and then he's got like an AK where instead he can just like turn around, and as he's turning around it just manifests in his hands and he's able just to fire it, and then turns around and just gets an axe and like slices somebody's head off. He doesn't need fancy hand gestures. It's extra shit that's just going to get him killed. And doesn't really add to anything unless we're calling him Flair. No.
I was about to say,
That
that's
was
a great
bad.
name. That's a great name. I actually kind of like it. So you being like, oh, he doesn't need fancy hand gestures. I was like, maybe he was before he was this person, he was a street magician.
Okay, that's fine. But that's something he can do like in general, like when he's just trying to mess with like an enemies. But if he's in like an actual like battle war situation, he shouldn't have to be doing that. Like he can do that as kind of like a joke type thing around people, like party favor, ha. But like in general, he doesn't need to do that. Like he just does that as like a showmanship type thing when he wants, but it is not necessary. He can just pull it out whenever.
I like it. Okay, that's fine. I like it. So how about it's a portal that he can that only his eyes can see. It's a portal, so it looks like he's grabbing out out of thin air, and so like his hand. So essentially, what you were saying, like if he needed an AK, he could simply like a portal will appear like here, and as his hand is moving down, once it moves so fast that he gets to a point where he'll pass through the portal that no one else can see, and boom, he has an AK and he's ready to fire. And then as he's like, if an enemy is coming to melee attack him, he could then, go to defend himself, and it looks like he has the AK, but once it like smacks together, boom, it's a sword.
I think it just needs to be able just to manifest it. I don't think a portal makes much sense, because otherwise that means he's having to get it from somewhere, which means he has to know where those weapons are, which means he either has to have them all in his possession, or he has to know where they're located at. I don't think a portal makes sense. He just literally just needs to be able to manifest them.
So he's able to just go sword.
Yeah. Okay. He's just able to manifest it.
Okay. Well, when we create a comic book out of this,
it
or
also
a movie,
allows growth to where maybe later on he could pull out a tank.
Okay. That will be a future thing.
But I'm just saying, like,
no.
bigger growth. So he starts off with like handguns, maybe like smaller rifles, and just like hand weapons, and then he can move up. Like maybe by the end of the series, he's able to pull out like an RPG.
Okay.
Or a mortar.
You know what?
Or, like,
I agree.
And so small growth to a point where maybe in 10 years he can pull out a tank.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Yes, it makes sense. And I was just thinking, like, if I were to make a movie, that's how I would show like how his abilities would work.
Yeah.
And that's when I initially came up with this guy. That's how it worked in my brain. It was a like, in Rick and Morty, the green portal, but instead it was purple. Like that's exactly how it looked like for me. So, do you have like a basis of a name? I did like Flair. Flair was kind of clever, but like showmanship. Showman. I kind of like that. Also, so I was thinking like with Trench and Showman working names, mixing them together into one person. But then again, I kind of like them separate, and I was thinking I kind of like their backstories kind of interconnected, like they're brothers or something like that. Like they were once bad guys turned good guys now. Like Trench used to be a thief while his brother was like an enforcer for like a big casino place. Hence why, if we wanted to add the whole magician aspect for Showman, that would be is that he used to be a magician. He could just simply just be like, hey, here's your card, and that's how he did magic. But then he got in on the wrong people and the mob and this and that. Like, what do you think?
How'd they get their powers?
That might be something we would have to go into later.
So the reason I ask is I have a thought, which would make a little bit more sense, especially for why. God, I hate it. It's not Flair. All right, but
it's
right
not.
now Flair.
Showman.
I don't like Showman either.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
I don't.
Damn, I like
but both of those guys say they're brothers,
mm-hmm.
or at least brothers in arms, even if they're not brothers, but like they're part of kind of like Batman, like they're part of the same like guild of like trained assassins and stuff like that. But the difference is Trench went towards that life, and Showman didn't want to. So to get out of it, the safest place is actually in like the people like in the limelight, being out in public. Because if he's by himself, then assassins will try to kill him because he's like rejected that life. So he went into showmanship. he went into like becoming a magician, but they come from the same backstory. They come from the same area.
So
And so now they're joining back.
Here's
like something brought him back into the fold. But
I'm nipping.
That's kind of my thought process on it, on how you can like bring them together. They have a decent backstory together.
I like it. I think I know how I could go about it, because I with Trench, I was thinking more of his abilities come from the trench coat itself.
Yeah.
Like he's one with the trench coat. And so it's not like he was born with said abilities. So maybe Showman was born with the ability to, just manifest stuff. So he could become a magician, which, made like he's the younger brother kind of thing. And so there's that tension of the older brother doesn't have the abilities. His parents love him more because he can, do shit. He's magical or whatever. I won't say magical, but he can do magical stuff. Which then turns Trench into a hardened person and goes to a life of crime. And that's when their paths kind of split, up until Trench basically finds this trench coat and, turns more into the bad guy lifestyle. And then he ropes his brother into it. And so then they had to like something happens to Trench where he's like, I want out of this. I need your help. And so then they kind of like team up, and then they start to go towards a hero journey and like, we should do more kind of thing. You like that?
Yeah, if nothing else, it's like a reverse X-Men type thing.
Yeah.
Where X-Men were like looked down upon if you were a mutant.
Yeah.
Where instead this is more praise because they have abilities, which is honestly how it would be nowadays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I like that. It's a good backstory. I like that we connected the brothers. We'll just have to work on the name. Do you like Trench as trench coats?
Trench isn't bad.
Yeah. Okay. I like it.
I don't know about the other one though.
How about like when he was on, like, say, the Las Vegas Strip? Because I'm automatically putting these guys in Las Vegas. That his name was like the Showman, because of the fancy moves.
I don't really like it, but that's just me.
Well, he'll get a newer name.
I don't even really like the Showman.
Okay.
Like, even as like if it was like a showdown in Vegas, I don't like it.
Okay. What about Ric Flair?
Woo!
Woo! Jesus Christ, I have 8 text messages. Glad I turned that sucker off. All right. So far, do you have a cap of people, or do you just want to hear the full list of heroes?
Let's just hear it, buddy.
So we got 2 right there. We got Trench and Brother.
Undetermined.
I did like Brother.
TBD.
I did like Brother in Arms. Like, kind of like Man of Arms. All right. So next guy, he's more of a side character. Like
By the way, the dealer.
The Dealer. Oh fuck! I love it.
Like an arms dealer, but also like Vegas, just a dealer.
I love it.
The
I love
Dealer.
it. I love it so much. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
All right.
Good job. Brad.
We got this.
Nice. I love it. So we got Trent and the Dealer. I love it. God, this is why I have a podcast with you. All right. So the next superhero, he's more of a side character. He's more of what's the X-Men that is just like, he's very much like just a fix-it, like a mechanic. I can't think of his name. His like legs are missing. He's a mutant that like can talk to technology. I can't remember it, but he's just a side character. Like he's kind of like Jarvis before he was just a computer. It was like he's a butler, but this guy isn't a butler, but side character kind of thing. So his nickname that he goes by is Chart, C-H-A-R-T, Chart. Like you're charting a map, okay? He jokes that it's short for pie chart because he loves pies. He's a war vet that was a pilot who crashed in a helicopter, and the crash broke his left leg and blinded him permanently. Okay. He was a prisoner of war that was experimented on, and when he got rescued, he got a prosthetic leg and gained the ability to pilot anything. He just needs to be told what it is, and he can then pilot it flawlessly. So essentially, like, he could get in a car, and all anyone needs to do is go, it's a Lamborghini, and he's able to drive it like the most professional driver. Or he could be in a Black Hawk helicopter, and all he need. I mean, I don't know if we want to make it simple, like, hey, you're in a helicopter, and he could be like, cool. Or if it has to be like, you're in a Black Hawk helicopter, or a Lamborghini Gallardo, or a jet ski, or a hot air balloon. Like, I don't know how specific, but basically he's blind. He doesn't have his left leg, and he's more of just like transportation for the team.
I don't like the fact that he's blind.
You don't like because you hate Daredevil.
Okay, then was he born with the ability to sense that stuff, or is it literally, oh yeah, I just gained a sense? But once again, it's different with like even Daredevil in a fucking room compared to in the middle of a car, like a closed space where you're not going to have that same like spatial awareness. Plus like a jet, like he's flying a jet, and then he's able to be like, oh yeah, I can just tell that there's another jet like 200 meters ahead that I'm not going to run into.
So it's like
I don't like it.
He got blinded because of the crash, and when he was experimented on, I would say that like some like weird like nanobites or something like infused with him, and he basically can like feel like and sense stuff through the vehicles that he. So it's like he can, like, he'll get the radar sense and stuff like that, and he's just more of like if he's in the Grand Canyon, he's able to just fucking just like through rocks just with the most precise thing. So your only hiccup with this with Chart is that he's blind.
Yes.
Okay.
Especially when it comes to a driving thing.
Right, and that's why I liked that he was blind. It was just more like he was just like I also consider him like more of a comic relief, where he's just like he's like oncoming traffic is coming at him, and he's swerving, but he's like drifting and making it all look so cool as he's like interlocking with the other cars, and he just says that kind of stuff like what, are you blind? Like, I see him as more of a comic relief. So what about one eye? Like, he's blind in one eye.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
You're fine with that?
Yeah,
okay.
He needs to be able to see.
All right, fine. That's
because there's no level of like radar that you're going to be able to get in every situation that's going to be allow you to pilot all of these things.
Maybe you could feel it through his metal leg.
As you're driving a car and it's raining, that's not going to fuck with radar at all.
Okay. All right, fine. I'm cool with one eye. He has an eye patch.
Yeah.
Are you fine with the name? Because that's why I gave him the name Chart, because of the pie chart joke. Is that he's like,
no, I'm fine, because he can also chart a course. Like multiple types of things like that, I'm fine with. But he needs to have some sort of sight. He can even have like an extra arm blown off too. And like you can still have
fuck his torsos.
I'm just saying, like, he has like a leg and like his arm. And like, I don't care, because you can still use him as like comic relief and stuff like that.
Like he shakes someone's hand and then it pops off, and he's like, oh god.
I'm imagining a situation where he's in a car and he's like, don't worry about this, I've got a lead foot. And he like they have to like get out of the vehicle, and so he just props like his prosthetic leg, like, so like it's sticking with the gas, and they all jump out. Like, there's multiple things you could do. That's fine, but he has to have sight.
All right, you know what? Fine, I'll agree with you. That, you know what? This is why I like talking to you about this stuff. It, like, yes, it makes sense. My idea also makes sense, but you know what? I like it. This is why we talk through it. So he has an eye patch. We can discuss if he is missing an arm or whatever. Like,
I'm just saying, like, I don't care if he's got other bodily issues, but he has to have at least one eye.
All right.
He has to have sight.
So By the way, no matter what, Chart is making the team.
Okay.
Okay. Because he's just a side character. The next one, a man who can become anyone's shadow. So this was more of an idea of like a covert ops kind of thing. He can't. I don't know if we could probably discuss if he could like form in other shadows, like behind a door in a darkened room. He can come in, or it has to be from another man's shadow. But it's not like he like creeps up from it. It's like Peter Pan, where he'll mimic the movements, but once you walk out of a door and close the door, your original shadow will continue, but he will stay in the office building where he can start downloading, hacking stuff, kind of stuff.
Okay.
I will say it's a very easy concept for him, and I think Marvel has, and maybe even DC, like I said, a simple concept of something fairly similar, but I figured we could make it our own. But that was basically it, was that he can become someone's shadow. And I don't know if it's a ability we want to add onto a different character. I have one in mind, but it fairly works, doesn't work. So, but yeah. Do you have a name for him? Darkman? That actually might be a character for Marvel. I don't know. But yeah, I will admit, this one was very early on when I was making superheroes. So we'll just move on.
Honestly, he sounds like a side character too.
Yes. Yeah, so I don't think he would be initially really set in the team. Like I said, he's more of the covert ops missions, if need be. I always just picture him, he's always on another mission because he could just travel between shadows. So we'll see. We'll put him on the back burner. I think you'll like this one. A mystic that can summon their own drawings from a magic book with unlimited pages. So the idea is just basically she has this magical book that she draws in, and when she wants to, she can make the things appear from said book. And she could have some preset, and so she doesn't have to she'd be like, oh, we're in the middle of a battle, and she scribbles. She could have preset monsters that she just keeps in the book. They can unlimited pages. When she doesn't like the thing or she's done with it, she could just erase it. But I think it also helps with giving people what they need in a situation. Not like a MacGuffin kind of thing, but
a MacGuffin type of a thing. Gotcha.
Yeah. I don't want her to essentially be like, oh, we need to fly, here's a jet. I don't want that, essentially.
So I feel like with a character like this, you have to have some limitations, which is it almost needs to look realistic.
She has a bedtime at 6?
No.
Oh.
They need to look realistic. Like she's a damn good drawer. Mm-hmm. So when she draws a tiger, it looks like a tiger. Right?
Okay.
So which means you can't just be stick figure fucking holding something and then a guy pops up with a gun. But it would be easy to draw a door on a wall.
Wait, so go back to the stick figure. You're saying if she makes a stick figure, it wouldn't come out as an actual Dwayne the Rock Johnson holding a gun. No, I would imagine it would come out as a stick figure.
Well, even that's way too MacGuffin-y. At that point, I'm going to tell you, no, I don't want this character at all.
Okay.
Because at that point, you can just make any random idiot. Doesn't need to be a mystic. Just any random idiot that's got sprayed by some acid and gain the ability to just pop his drawings out because it's what his mind thinks of.
The idea of this was essentially kind of like Scarlet Witch a little bit. She would be the magical center of that, like a Scarlet Witch, Doctor Strange kind of thing. But if she wanted to make a monster out of her own creation, kind of like what's here like if she drew that dragon or that dragon, it would come up as that dragon. I'll carry on.
Yeah.
But
Don't worry, it's just a scam.
But so essentially, like if she drew that dragon, like dragons aren't real, but if she drew a winged dragon, she could use it. Or if she has like a monster of her own design with like 3 eyes and he's a bit of a brute, then she could use that.
I feel like it has to be a little bit more realistic and not just some random drawing she throws together in 3 seconds.
What about she can only have like a certain amount of drawings activated at a time? Or does she need more of a handicap?
You need more of a handicap. Otherwise, you're just making an impossible stick figure you can't kill unless, you rip up the drawing?
If you have a really big eraser.
I hate you.
I would say that like if she made, say, a stick drawing and you shot said stick drawing, it would die. Like it still has mortal wounds. But in the sense, if she drew like a big monster, a simple bullet wouldn't take that down. Like if she drew a dragon, a simple
I'm sorry,
bullet,
unless you're a goddamn marksman, you're not killing a stick figure because you're literally just shooting a stick.
Well, I was thinking like his head will be filled in. Like I'm thinking black outline for the circle, right? But his head is white.
That's still only one small spot.
Right, but I mean it's still like you're the one who brought up the stick figure. I'm just
it's too powerful.
okay, too powerful.
Especially when you're looking at putting it with people like Trench, Chart, and the Dealer, and Shadow Man.
Okay.
You have more realistic type stuff, and then you just threw Superman in there. That's what you did.
Oh, we haven't gotten to Superman yet.
I'm just saying, like that's literally what you
Right.
did. You
then
have
again, Scarlet Witch is exactly like that, where she's just like, oh, hey,
but so
flowers.
far your whole team has been Black Widow and like Hawkeye joining forces with nobody but like Vision, Scarlet Witch, and Doctor Strange. That's it. You're like, you went the highest tier with the lowest tier.
Okay, so she needs a handicap. I just can't think of one.
Because at this
Other
point,
than
you don't even need Chart. She can just draw a freaking rocket and they're there in 5 seconds, or a teleporter.
Okay, so need to nerf her. Okay. The only thing I can think of is that, like, I was thinking that she's like 14.
So she's got a 6 o'clock bedtime.
Yeah. Her powers only work from 8 in the morning till about 8 at night.
Yeah. Child labor laws say that she can't work past 9.
Okay, so we need to nerf her.
That's why I said more realistic drawings. She can't just go on the battlefield and make anything up. That's why she carries her book with her.
What?
Because she can make any of those drawings, but she's also a kid that loves to draw, so she's constantly drawing.
What?
So she's coming up with new stuff.
So what about that she can't make like real things? Like she couldn't make a jet. Like even if she drew it to scale, to perfection, to exactly how it is, she couldn't manifest a jet. But she can make a mythical monster that can fly. Like from her own creation, like literally like taking the, like she's playing God and taking body parts of
What's
whatever.
the difference?
It's visually it's more creative. That's because, so another idea, there's a DC character called Tattoo Man that showed up in Suicide Squad, played by Common, that his ability was that the tattoos on his bodies can come to life. And so if they drew on a dragon, he can make a dragon come off of his body and it's a physical thing. There's also, again, DC, there's a character in Static Shock, the cartoon, where I think I might actually I've stolen this idea from Static Shock, where it was a little girl with a book that drew stuff and she drew like dragons on. So, okay, we might have to put her on the back burner. She could be an addition later. We'll have to talk that one out. But visually, I think it would be very cool.
Visually, it is cool, but I don't think it needs a I mean, unless you're literally putting her limitation to she can only draw living beings.
Uh-huh. I will admit some of these I did quite a while ago, while some of these are newer, and so some of these are more fleshed out. Like Shadow Man, not fleshed out because he was one of the OGs, except for Trent. Trent was the first one actually. All right, a person with nanobites in them able to morph his body into various things. I feel like you have a problem with this already.
Well, I mean, it sounds like a cyborg. That's all it is.
Yeah, pretty
like
much.
it's cyborg.
Yeah, pretty much. Like he's handy with technology, and he can be like it's like the nanites in Iron Man's suit. Like he makes a bigger fist and stuff.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it. Do you have a name for him? Nano. Nanu from Mork and Minnie.
No.
What about like terabyte or millibyte? But it's BYTIE.
No.
What about tidbit?
I'm sorry.
Tidbit?
Why?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we make him small. Like we make him like this tall. Like the nanites shrunk his body to this, but he's able to then like he's kind of like Ant-Man, and he's able to grow using nanites to make himself like into like a mech suit, like a Hulkbuster. So he's called Tidbit. Back burner?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, this one I've told you before, and I really like this one, so be careful.
Be gentle.
A person who has several kinds of masks that give them different powers. They are a master forger. Can make new masks for not necessarily like in the instance of battle, but it's one of those things where like maybe they get defeated and they're like, he's like, I need to make a mask that makes me breathe underwater kind of thing, right? Starts off as a normal human man that can only put on one mask at a time until it's revealed that he's able to wear many masks at the same time. Turns out he has always been wearing a mask that hid his identity. In fact, he's a female alien. So essentially the idea is kind of like the mask off of The Mask, Jim Carrey, where he's like, I need super strength, and he puts on his super strength mask, and it's decked out, cool looking and stuff, and he either looks like he's strong, or he's just able to. He looks the exact same, and he's able to lift up a car, or if he needed more of a powerhouse ability, he takes off that the strength mask and he puts on a fire breathing mask, and the mask will like open up and he's able to breathe fire. So we have some creative inputs that we could do with him.
It's a decent concept, but I do have one issue with it.
Is it that he's a female alien?
No.
Oh,
I don't care about that.
oh okay.
It's the whole having to put on the masks, which means there's a limit to what he's able to do or she's able to do. Because you can't go into a fight with like a trunk full of masks that he's made, and he's just like, it runs over to it, grabs one, and then puts it on. Like, he can only carry a certain amount on him,
right?
Unless he's manifesting those bad boys out of thin air.
Well, maybe the dealer can help him with that. But essentially, I was thinking that he has like a satchel that has like 6 masks in there, because he starts off small with how many he has. But the masks were more of an idea of he isn't like running into battle and he's just like, switching masks. It's more of like he's paying attention to what's happening while the rest of the team members are doing whatever they need to do, and he's observing, and he's like, okay, strength would really help right now, and he just puts on, like, he doesn't play offensive as much, but he's able to. he more plays defensive. So he could put on like a mask of flying, and he's like flying around helping the team members, distract or catching them out of midair. But he's very quick on putting on the masks. Like maybe the satchel is also magical, and so he can just think. Hold on. He could just think of the mask that he needs, and so he could be, as he's taking it off, he's grabbing the other one and putting it on while letting go of the original one, and it's going back into his satchel. Don't look at me like that. What do you want to change about this guy?
It's just it's a tedious concept.
It is a tedious concept. So it's fairly hard to make up superheroes.
Oh, I get it.
Without making them too OP and not like everyone else. So that's why I try and put a handicap with them, like the fact that his handicap is he has to take the mask off.
Yeah, but you're saying he can make a mask, so why couldn't he just eventually make a mask that adds all those properties onto one mask?
Can't do it.
Why?
Mystical reasons.
Because at that point, that would be my counter is he only has one mask, right? But he has to continually upgrade it. Like it's a Batman or Iron Man type situation where he has to go back and upgrade it. Like he doesn't have flight, but in order to get it, he has to do it. And maybe there's like a limitation to what the mask can hold. Like there's a power limitation. So if you add like 5 powers, you try to add a 6, it's too much. And so you have to sacrifice 1 power in order to get something else. And I could see that because I'm looking at it for more like a fighting standpoint. You don't have many fighters that are going to be carrying a backpack or a freaking satchel around them so they can be pulling out multiple
I beg
masks.
to differ. Trailblazer, my friend. Dora, the Explorer.
That's kind of what I'm looking
Yeah,
at.
I'm
fine with the needing a limitation because I get that. You don't want to make somebody that's just super powerful and they just add
like
everything
make a
onto
stick
one mask or have 5,000 masks and they just put them all on all at once.
Yeah,
and then
also when I say like he like later because I'm trying to think of future character development because the whole idea was that like he can't put on strength and flying. Like he told his teammates that can't be because he's trying to keep his identity secret. And so essentially when he ends up being a liar and he can do that, it doesn't like keep stacking. So he doesn't have like a mask like this long like he's Pinocchio. But what they do is they form into one mask. Like it bleeds through. Like when he puts on the mask, I think originally when I thought of this, when he put on the mask, it disappeared on his face, and so it still showed his face. But I actually kind of like the idea of like if he put on like one that looked like a dragon to breathe fire, it actually like opened up, like it formed like Jim Carrey's The Mask. So I guess we just need to put a limitation on that.
I mean, it's a good concept, but I think you have to work on it.
Yes.
I think that's basically it.
So far we have what, 3 solid people? Chart, Showman, and
I'm sorry, the dealer.
The dealer.
Okay, not Showman. Come on.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, the dealer. Trench, Chart, and the dealer.
Yeah.
Okay, then. Oh,
I do like this masked person. We'll have to flesh it out. It's just I think there's things that are just too cumbersome. Like the ability to have that many masks on you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, we'll flush him out. What about Tidbit? Did you like Tidbit?
I don't.
I really like Tidbit. All right. Okay, I think you'll like this one. I really do. Because I really like this one. A person that has a cross on their hand and a pitchfork on the other, and I say they because I didn't put a gender to some of these, just so we could talk it through later. When they press either one, they change whichever one they press. So a cross changes them into an angel, and the pitchfork changes him into a demon. And so essentially, the concept was the back of his hand or her hand, whatever, their hand. So angel or a halo or whatever on this hand.
You got this from playing Binding of Isaac, didn't you?
No, actually. No, it kind of came from a concept of Blue Devil and also a Zariel, I think, where a Zariel is, or no, it's a Trigon. A Trigon is the demon, and he has like a human form, and then he just turns into a demon, like goofy little demon. But no, this was just simply a concept. It wasn't from Binding of Isaac. But so he has a.
I just know how much you play that game and love it. So.
Oh, I mean,
and the devil and the angel rooms. It made. I know how you like pick some of your questions in that. It would have made sense of that's where you got it from.
Yeah, no, it absolutely would, but it wasn't actually. So he has a cross on one hand and a pitchfork on the other, and simply like if whatever situation it calls for, he touches his hand. He has to press his hand, and it changes him into a whichever form he touches. If he goes into a demon form, they have a pitchfork. And he has the hooves and stuff. He's a little bit more muscular, so it's more of his or their brute form, where the angel is more of swift and like floating through the air, and they have a sword.
Okay, so one's more like speed, flight. The other one is like
Ground
strength.
Yes, yeah, but
I like it.
Yeah, I thought you would. I thought of a theme though that like further down with
Can I make a change? Hopefully.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
So having it on both their hands,
Mm-hmm.
right? What if they wear gloves and whatever one they want, they just take off that one
Ooh, you know what?
to like show it? Because I don't think touching it is very good because you could accidentally touch the other one and then change.
Well, it's more of like you want to have it happen. It's not like they're like, oh man, my hand hurts. Oh god, and they're turn into a demon. It's more of like they're just like demon form or whatever. Like they're Power Rangers all of a sudden.
Yeah, but like you just doing
so-
that, it's not as
So
impactful. I would say.
I like the idea. I do like the idea, but
I'm trying to look for something more impactful, more like
Right.
cinematic when you're actually doing it.
What I was gonna say though was I had an idea further down the line for this person is they unlock like a third form, which is like an angel demon hybrid kind of thing, by like clasping their hands together, touching both.
Yeah.
And so that would be my only. So maybe like
You just take off both gloves.
yeah, I guess. All right, cool. Yeah, no, that's fine.
I'm
No.
trying to think of something cinematic.
No,
for it.
it's like
Do you have a name for this person, by the way? Because I do like it. But
I do have a name. It depends on if
so
you
do I.
want him to be a guy.
because I also have a name.
So superhero name Archslayer, like an archon angel. So Archslayer, and the name would be Michael Lou something.
Well, I don't care about their actual name.
Yeah. But I was thinking Michael from, as one of the archangels, and then Lucifer. So it plays on the demon and the angel side. So, but Archslayer was the name I had written down for him. Do you have a better one?
I mean, the first thing that popped in my head was duality.
I like it. Yeah, we could. I'm cool with that. Cool. All right. Cool. I knew you would love this one.
I like that one.
Okay. Okay, we have four more, or no, we have three more heroes. Okay, and then we'll be done.
Well, we might have to push some of these.
I'll go quick. So the next one, a scientist that was playing around with DNA splicing either turns into a man bear,
Bear pig.
easy, either turns himself into a man bear or grows a bear man hybrid that is then his son that he raises as his son. The bear is super smart and comes up with a way to control elements like fire, water, earth, wind, etc. And his name is Coda. Maybe his superhero name is Storm Bear. I hope you know I actually really like this one. It reminds me of Beast.
Oh, it reminds me of Captain Planet.
It does a little bit, yeah. But I kind of like that his dad made a human bear hybrid and that he raised it as his son named Coda. I personally like that as the option. And so I don't know if it's more of like himself is like infused with the elements, or if he comes up with the technology to then just be like, he has like gauntlets that go electricity or shoot fire or lava or whatever, or he's like wind. But
Heart.
hey, sometimes you need it. So what do you think?
That one I don't know.
Okay. We may do an episode 2. We may have to get a second, or get like 2 or 3 more people on here to help with this. Okay. So the next one, so Coda was one of my favorites. Personally, I liked it. I liked this story. The next one is probably one of my favorites. A hero named Obsidian, who has impenetrable skin, super strong, and high agility, and can throw psionic slashes that can cut through things from a distance. For example, Obsidian can with a swipe of their hand can slice a tank in half from about 20 yards out. That's not the limit of the distance, but also can determine what gets cut. Another example, if a person is holding a piece of grass in front of their face, Obsidian can swipe their hand and it will cut the piece of grass without harming the person holding it. So the idea of him is that he's in like a black suit with just like a obsidian diamond in his chest. And he kind of is a mixture of a little bit of like a Black Panther, Luke Cage kind of thing. But I also like added just like, I like, because obsidian is a hard piece of thing. And so I was thinking like he's able to just be like, sha, and then cut stuff in half using like his, essentially his thoughts. But I was thinking it's more of a slash. Also, personally, I thought he would be the team leader. Ooh, I don't like that look, Brad. I don't like that look, because you're just about to shit on everything I created.
That's why we're a good team, though. I help you think of any of these issues.
Yeah.
But
So what's up?
I'm just curious on the slash thing.
Okay.
That's if anything, that's my only holdup.
Okay.
Because yeah, obsidian's hard, but it's also not like it's a psionic type of thing.
Yeah.
It's almost like that should be a second person's ability.
Okay. I don't know who I would have fit with it, though.
But it's fine. I mean, at this point, you've just basically made him Superman, is what you're doing.
Yeah, that other than he can't fly and he doesn't have like laser beams.
I mean, he basically does by a psionic slash.
Right. So I was thinking like the gem in his chest is kind of like how the Juggernaut, right? The Juggernaut, his ability comes from an emerald, right? his ability to like run through stuff and be a unmovable force comes from a gem that like he consumed or whatever, right? So I was thinking the maybe he already had the powers of the impenetrableness and stuff like that, but the gem added the psionic stuff. Also, this is the hero that I was thinking that maybe if we wanted to add the Darkman abilities, the shadow stuff, to him. Because he's already dressed in black.
I feel like if the gem gave him the ability for psionic, it gave him the ability for all the other stuff too.
I was thinking so too. I was just coming up with ideas. But anyway, so might be a back burner, but he's good overall. Like you're just hard up on the psionic.
I mean, yeah, I guess, but yeah, if you want him to basically just be the Superman, you basically have that.
What about it's not as deadly? Like it couldn't slash a tank, but it could like dent a tank. But like it could simply.
You might as well just have him slash a tank at that point.
Because what I was thinking was like big bad monsters, you can have him, do his thing and it will like push them back. It hurts, but it's not as deadly. Like he couldn't slice a human in half. Okay, something to work on.
You might as well just allow him to slice a human in half.
All right, something to work on. I don't think you'll like this next person, but
yeah,
we'll see. We'll see. You've proved me right so far. A person of ancient descent, where they have a aurora around them that is visible.
Aura or aurora?
Aurora.
Aura?
Aura.
An aura.
Or. Without a paddle. Around them that is visible, that aura can change at will, with the color changing around them to signify the power shifting. Depending on the color, depends on what power they are using. They are immortal for the most part, or at least no harm can come to them, except the downside is there is a weakness, but the weakness changes depending on the color and power of the aurora, or the aura. For example, if the aura is red, the power could be fire, and the weakness could be something simple as water, or something complex as the weakness is a certain word is uttered or attack on a certain body part, or simply the weakness is a my text message messed up on this part. Is the weakness, or simply the weakness is a I don't know what I'm saying here, because I think I accidentally copied another person's thing in the middle of this, because it's talking about fairy tales at this point. but so it's simply like his body part can be a weakness, like a Achilles heel kind of thing. But yeah, so essentially, like he's more of a mystic. He's kind of like Iron Fist or Shang-Chi or whatever. Like he's a martial arts fighter, but if he's glowing red, he can, maybe he has more of a powerful punch, or he can, shoot fire out of his hands. But he could just simply change his, like, what actually, you know what? Funny enough, this one is actually a little bit based off of Isaac, where one of the items you can get changes. If it's red, you do more damage. If it's yellow, you run faster or whatever. So it's kind of off of Isaac, but yeah, I could tell you don't like it as much. I feel like I made up 3 solid characters with 2 of them as maybes, with 2 more characters as maybes. If anything, I was thinking this guy is more of like kind of like a Scott Summers. Like he wants to be the leader, but he's not good enough to be the leader, and everyone likes Wolverine more. So there's like maybe tension between him and Obsidian.
Except for Scott is the leader.
Yeah, but he's a shitty leader. No one likes Scott Summers. No one likes Cyclops. He's a piece of shit. He let his wife die
Oh.
several times.
Yeah.
You don't like it? I could.
No, it's not even that I don't like. I have some twists that I want to make on it just for like my own self.
Okay, go for it, and then we'll wrap it up.
Okay. So
We'll have to come back to this.
I feel like his power, like I actually kind of like it. I'm not gonna lie.
What the fuck? All right, cool.
But I want to see his power like. So it's something that was set off of an anime one time, and it was the real strength of an attack comes like once you know the name, because the name of the ability can like increase it by like tenfold, basically, which
Like spirit bomb.
yeah, basically that type of a thing. So his ability is off of knowing the color. I want him to be colorblind.
Well, okay, we'll have to talk about this because
Like not fully like black and white.
Yeah.
But like, so his strongest abilities are tied against like 2 or 3 colors that he can't see completely. And so unlocking them means needing to learn those colors.
Gotcha. Like how colorblind people they know, like even if they can't see red, they know the top of a street sign is red, right? Is that what you're saying?
Well, not only like I'm colorblind, which is why I'm like I find it to be hilarious, basically. But like for the longest time, I was like, oh yeah, I got a blue truck. It was green. It was green the whole time. It was green.
So maybe,
but I can see certain blues. Like my favorite color is like an indigo blue. It's just that like bright blue that you have like on like center consoles of like cars and stuff. Like so. Like maybe like it's a certain color, but he keeps confusing it with something else. So he's never gaining the true power out of it.
So what happens, like, because I think I want to say I had the concept of he could change it every day. Or once every day. So if he like woke up with the red
He can only change it once.
and he can only change it once. Because while you were talking, I was thinking two things. You said that, you know, he's colorblind, he doesn't see black and white, he's not racist, right? So that was just the joke. But anyway, so I was thinking that maybe he kind of has the same kind of story like Iron Fist, where he didn't really complete his training, but he got the ability of it, and then he's like, cool, I'm out, I'm gonna go join a superhero team. And so he's not experienced enough to know how to control said power, or maybe that maybe it's like a descendant thing, like his father's father was this mystical person, and he's just a normal guy from Jersey who all of a sudden, as he's walking home from school, a trifecta of red, blue, and yellow just hit him, and he's like floating in the air, and it's like, and then he drops to the ground, and then boom, he has the powers, and then he has to go train, but he doesn't want to train. He does this whole like Luke Yoda thing, and he's just like, I'm just gonna join a superhero team and learn on the job, and that's why he doesn't have like a full grasp. Like he's colorblind, so as he's like, cool, I'm glowing red, and then he goes, brah, fire, and then trees come out.
No fire.
No fire.
No fire.
So okay, so we have a potential one. So we have what, like 6 potentials, 3 real ones. Not bad for a first day of work. So, all right, we should probably call it.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for listening to the Best Friends Discuss podcast. Mike, Brad, go check us out on Facebook, YouTube, Best Friends Discuss podcast, or Best Friends Discuss. And what was the store?
Spring.com/store/best friends discuss.
Cool. And go listen to our sister podcast, Dane and Friends. So, bye, guys.
Later.